the PM is going to say in 2 or 3 hours from now that he wants to root out the rot that he says has been created by 14 years of Tory government.
Yes, Sir Keir Starmer will call for a decade of renewal and rebuilding, but he will also warn of difficult decisions. We're now joined by Cabinet Office Minister and Chair of the Labour Party, Ellie Reeves. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
So we know one of the other things he'll be talking about is departing from the years of Tory sleaze, rebuilding trust. I've got to put to you, though, you know, it's in the newspapers today with the Labour donor, Lord Ali, being given this Downing Street pass, having given hundreds of thousands of pounds to the Labour Party. Suits and glasses for Keir Starmer. It's not a good look, is it, when it comes to tackling sleaze and rebuilding trust?
Well, Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, in his speech today is going to be talking about fixing the foundations of this country. After 14 years of Conservative government, we've inherited an economic mess. There's a 22 billion black hole in the country's finances, but also a societal black hole where, you know, in the summer we saw rioters trying to take advantage of that in the knowledge that prison places...
Sorry to interrupt you. I really don't want to this early on in the interview, but you're simply not answering Charlotte's question. So we'll talk about these things in a minute. Can you please answer the question, which is, it's not a good look, is it, that the Prime Minister has been accepting thousands of pounds worth of free suits and free glasses instead of going to Specsavers like the rest of us? Why is he entitled to free suits and free glasses from the big Labour donor? And was the pass that was then given to that donor to go to and from Number 10 at will a payment and a reward for that? Could you deal with that, please?
All donations are declared in the correct way. As I understand it, Lord Ali, a respected and long-serving Labour peer, was given a pass to Downing Street for a few weeks after we first got into government. I don't think he's got that pass now, but he did have it for a few weeks. As I understand it, all rules have been followed. I've not been involved in that process, as I'm sure you'll understand, but I'm sure that all rules have been followed in relation to it.
Does the need free suits and free glasses? That's the fundamental question. It's not a good look, as Charlotte said.
Well, look, all donations will be declared in the correct way. And, you know, Lord Ali is a respected Labour peer. He has given donations to the party and, you know, they will be declared as they have to be. As they have to be.
Yeah, but it's a bit sleazy, isn't it? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, that's your PR problem with it. I mean, you may be able to argue it through in the way that you are now, and you're quite right. It has been fully declared. Nothing underhand about it. But it doesn't look good that the new incoming Prime Minister, who made a big thing about Tory sleaze and Tory self-rewards and Partygate and Gamblegate and all the rest of it, one of the first things we find out about him is that he's wearing expensive suits for free and expensive glasses for free. It just doesn't look good.
Well, look, the donations have been declared. Lord Ali's a respected peer. But what, you know, you mentioned parties and sleaze. Today, Keir Starmer will be making his speech in the Rose Garden of Number 10. Now, people will remember the Rose Garden. It's where Dominic Cummings gave his press conference after he drove to Barnard Castle during the pandemic to test his eyes. People will remember Number 10 for the parties that were held there during the pandemic, whilst others were obeying by the rules. Instead, in the Rose Garden today will be an audience of people that have served this country. There'll be firefighters, apprentices, the Three Dads Walking who promote suicide awareness. These are people that day in, day out serve this country, and that's who Keir Starmer will be speaking to later today, people that put their trust in us.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to trust, the trouble is it sort of does feel like Keir Starmer's trying to get in the excuses early and kind of blame everything on what's gone before, and people do want to see action about what's going to be going on ahead. When we look at trust in particular, a lot of our viewers are getting in touch to say that they're not impressed by what he's done so far. Peter says Keir Starmer's done a lot to damage hope and trust in politics in the first 7 weeks of this Labour government. He's made a lot of promises but failed to deliver them. Another one, Tony, says just shows how bad he's doing. He's broken every promise he's ever made. And I think another one here, Ken, action is the key to trust, and people are wanting to see action. And when they look at what's been said, for example, on something like tax, you know, tax isn't going to go up for working people, and yet in all likelihood it is going to go up in October, isn't it? And it's about being honest with people about that.
Well, we've been in government now for 8 weeks, and during that time, there's a number of things that we've done. For example, we've set up Great British Energy to transition to net zero energy and bring down people's bills once we get there. We've started talks with the NHS about getting those 40,000 more appointments and procedures each week. We've ended the industrial action, which has made that people can't get to work.
Those are all good things, but you've also done things like you've cut winter fuel payments for millions of pensioners, which hasn't been a popular move and is going to mean that for those in winter, we know that energy prices are going up, the price gap's increased by 10%. Actually, that's going to face a lot of vulnerable people are going to face a really harsh winter because of something that's been brought in by Labour.
That's a decision that we didn't want to take. It was a tough decision. When we formed government just 8 weeks ago, one of the first things the Chancellor did was an audit of the country's finances, and that uncovered this £22 billion black hole in the finances under the last government. In the first quarter of this financial year, there's already been an overspend of £5 billion, which is almost unprecedented. That leads to tough choices. Look, you know, your viewers will remember what happened last time a government lost control of the country's finances.
We had the Liz Truss in his budget, which crashed the economy. Do you think pensioners
I think it's a tough choice.
Are the right target?
I think it's a tough choice. Pensioners that are in receipt of pension credit will still receive the winter fuel allowance. There's something like 900,000 pensioners who are eligible for pension credit who are not yet claiming it. We want all pensioners that are eligible for pension credit to make sure that they are taking that up, and then they will qualify for the winter fuel payment.
A great many aren't going to get that money, and we know because of this root and branch cut. Look, I mentioned Gamblegate. If I were to go down to the bookies later this morning and put a bet on the Labour government making a U-turn on the winter fuel allowances decision and actually allowing pensioners to have the money that they would have had, would I be throwing my money away?
Look, this is a tough decision that has been taken, which we will stick to. We're committed to the triple lock on pensions.
So no U-turn? Absolutely no U-turn on the winter fuel allowance.
This is a tough decision that we've had to take because of the inheritance that we have had from the Conservative government. No one wanted to be in a position where this decision had to be taken. It is a tough choice, and the Prime Minister will be, honest with the public about tough choices when he makes his speech later today.
Says that things, just to finish with, because we're out of time, he says that things are going to get worse before they get better. Really simple question to finish with. What's going to get worst first?
Well, we've already seen the energy price cap is going up, and that's going to be difficult for people. But one of the reasons that we're in this position is because we're reliant on fossil fuels, often controlled by dictators abroad. That's why Great British Energy is so important, investing in homegrown renewable energy, and we've already ended the ban on onshore wind. So that we can get to that net zero target and make us less reliant on energy price fluctuations around the world.
All right, Ellie Reeves, thank you very much indeed for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.